Welcome to When Africa Speaks Legendary Corner, where heroes of the past inspire the champions of tomorrow. Today's legend, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the man who taught Nigeria to dream. They said one man cannot change a nation. They said dreams fade when power corrupts. But this man proved them wrong. He built free education when the world said it was impossible. He gave light, roads, and industry to a people still learning freedom. He saw a future others were too afraid to imagine. Today, in 2025, his ideas still live in classrooms, in government policies, and in the hearts of Nigerians who believe in progress. His name, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the man who taught Nigeria to dream. Obafemi Jeremiah Oyeniyi Awolowo was not born into wealth or power. He came into this world on March 6, 1909, in Ikine, a small town in what we now call Ogun State, Nigeria. Life then was simple but hard. Many families struggled to send their children to school, but young Awolowo was different. He had a burning hunger to learn. He started at St. Saviour's School, then moved to Wesley College in Ibadan, where he trained as a teacher. Even as a teacher, his mind was chasing something bigger. He wanted to understand the laws that shaped people's lives. He worked several jobs, saved every penny, and in 1944, he sailed across the seas to study law at the University of London and Inner Temple. He had already been studying by correspondence from Nigeria, so when he arrived in London, he was far ahead of his peers. Through discipline and relentless focus, he qualified as a barrister at law in 1946. That was proof that determination can shorten even the longest journey. When Awolowo returned to Nigeria, he saw a nation rich in talent but trapped in ignorance. He knew freedom meant nothing without education. So he began to speak, to write, and to organize. He founded the Egbe Omo Odudua, a movement to awaken the Yoruba people. But his dream was not for the Yoruba alone. It was for all Nigerians, a united, self-reliant, and educated nation. He helped form the Action Group, a political party that would transform the Western region. As Premier of the West in the 1950s, Awolowo became a man of action. He introduced free primary education, the first of its kind in Africa. In a time when many African children had never seen the inside of a classroom, Awolowo opened the doors wide and said, "Come in, learn, and no child should be left behind because of poverty." That single decision changed millions of lives. It's the reason many Nigerians today can read, write, and dream big dreams. But he didn't stop there. In 1959, he built Western Nigeria Television, the first television station in Africa. Yes, the first on the entire continent. Even some countries in Europe did not have television then, but Nigeria did, thanks to Awolowo's vision. He believed information was power, and people needed to see beyond their villages. He built roads, industries, and the famous Cocoa House in Ibadan, a tall symbol of progress and prosperity. Everything he did was about lifting up people and giving them tools to build better lives. If this story is inspiring you, don't forget to subscribe to When Africa Speaks. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss another legend that could change your life. But greatness never comes without enemies. Awolowo's ideas threatened the comfort of the powerful. After independence in 1960, politics became fierce and divided. Regional rivalry, personal ambition, and greed began to poison the dream. Awolowo spoke boldly against corruption. He believed leadership was service, not self-interest, and for that he was feared, envied, and accused. In 1962, he was charged with treason, accused of plotting to overthrow the government. Many believed it was a setup to silence him, But even in chains, Awolowo stood tall. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Inside those walls, he read, wrote, and prayed. He said, while others see prison as punishment, I see it as a school, a place to refine one's thoughts. And indeed it was. From behind bars, he still dreamed for Nigeria. He still advised his followers. He never lost faith. In 1966, when Nigeria trembled under crisis and coups, General Yakubu Gowon released him. Awolowo came out not with bitterness but with purpose. He became Minister of Finance and Vice Chairman of the Federal Executive Council during the Nigerian Civil War. While others sought profit, he sought stability. Here, his brilliance truly shone. He managed Nigeria's finances with precision and honesty. He introduced what we now call fiscal policies. In simple terms, that means how a government spends and saves money, how it decides to build schools, roads, or collect taxes. A good fiscal policy keeps a country alive. And Awolowo's policy saved Nigeria during war. He made sure soldiers were paid, food was available, and the economy didn't collapse. Many historians still say, without Awolowo's wisdom, Nigeria's economy might have fallen apart. Beyond politics, Awolowo was a husband, a father, and a thinker. He was married to Chief Mrs. Hannah Awolowo, a woman of grace who stood by him through storms. He believed in discipline. He rose early, worked methodically, and lived simply. He neither smoked nor drank. He focused on service, not luxury. He once said, "The children of the poor you fail to train will never let your children live in peace." That truth still echoes in 2025. When we neglect education and let children grow up without hope, we endanger our collective future. Chief Obafemi Awolowo passed away on May 9, 1987, but his shadow still stands tall across Nigeria. His dream for free education remains one of the strongest pillars of national progress. Every time a child from a poor home walks into a classroom, that's Awolowo's dream living on. Every time a Nigerian demands good governance, that's his voice echoing through time. His economic blueprints still guide leaders. His integrity still challenges every man in power. In 2025, as the world changes, one truth remains. A leader's real legacy is not in wealth or titles, but in how his vision survives him. Awolowo was not just a politician, he was a prophet of progress, a thinker who saw 50 years ahead. He taught us that freedom without knowledge is slavery in disguise, that education is a seed of nationhood, that leadership is sacrifice, not comfort. He once said, "It is not life that matters, but the courage you bring into it." So when we speak of Nigeria's future, we must speak his name. When we speak of justice, we must remember his prison walls. When we speak of vision, we must remember the dream he left for us to continue. Because legends like Awolowo do not die, they become the voice of wisdom that guides a nation through time. This is the story of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the man who turned dreams into policies, the man who served with vision and courage, the man who taught Nigeria to dream. Chief Awolowo proved that one person with vision can transform millions of lives. His story reminds us that true leadership is about service, sacrifice, and seeing beyond today into tomorrow. If you haven't already, subscribe to When Africa Speaks for more stories of legends who dare to dream. Because when you learn from greatness, you begin to walk in it. Thank you for listening, and remember, legends never die. They inspire new legends to rise.